Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Gary Eugene Massey Jr. My Islamic name is Abdul Shahid. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas. My parents are from African Americans, both African Americans. My mother is originally from a place called Tunica, Mississippi. That's where she was born. My father is from Kansas City, Kansas. I'm not from a rich background. My family in general is my father. He's now dead. He's now deceased. But I think he only received a high school education, basically. He was by trade a carpenter, and custodial jobs. That's what his main thing was. My mother, she didn't, because she had children pretty early, she didn't finish college right away. She's currently now in her 60s finishing her bachelor's degree. Like her mother, my grandmother, she's now finishing her bachelor's degree in religious sciences. My mother's side of the family is predominantly Baptist. My father's side of the family is predominantly Catholic. The area that I'm from, like I said, is a place called Kansas City, Kansas. It's a very small town in general. It's a metropolitan area split by a river. There's a Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. It's not that, I said metropolitan, it's not really that metropolitan. But it's not a really small town. It's not really big. That's where I did most of my education. I went through elementary school, middle school. In high school, I did a college preparatory program. I finished that. I graduated. Basically, when I was younger, our family was not that religious. In general, my family was not that religious in general. My childhood is I don't want to say it was happy. At the same time, it wasn't really sad. We were a very poor family, working class family, I guess you could say. My mother and my father, and later on, maybe when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, they received a divorce. They divorced. I have I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters. But in general, my childhood was pretty decent. I don't remember it being bad. Just the fact about being poor, mainly. Nothing really more than that as far as incidences or anything like that I could really claim to have affected my life besides the poverty, I guess. After that, after my parents' divorce, which I said about 3rd or 4th grade, I kind of went through school with my siblings. It was kind of, I won't say it's normal, but it was not something that was very different at the time, to be from a divorced family or a family whose parents were divorced. Excuse me. Like I said, I went through middle school and high school. Once I got to high school, I was in a college preparatory program. And it was during high school that I became Muslim. In my sophomore year, or my 10th grade year, I became Muslim. Probably because of my interaction with one of my relatives. he was Muslim. So when I became Muslim in high school, I finished high school, which was kind of difficult for me, trying to practice Islam a little bit and with all the rigors of high school. But after high school, I worked for about a year at a company called Walmart. It's kind of normal. And then I was accepted to go to the Islamic University of Medina in Saudi Arabia. And there, pretty much I was 19 years old. I went there in August 1999. I studied Arabic for 3 years, and I did a bachelor's in Islamic theology. And then I graduated in 2006. After I graduated with my degree in Islamic theology, I kind of hung out in Saudi Arabia for a while. I worked for about a year. I worked in what's called the Eastern Province. It's called Ash-Sharqiyya, the Eastern Province, teaching English as a foreign language. There I had a lot of interactions with workers. I had students that were Saudis that were seeking to go to master's degree programs. A student that was from Italy seeking to just work out with his English language because he didn't really use his language a lot in Italy. Also I had Turkish students. I had other students. Just it was a different time for me, and that was really where I think I really started my professional career as into education or teaching. After that, in 2007, I came back to Kansas City. At that time, it was pretty much in I think August 2007. It was just the beginning of the Great Recession, I guess, and I was supposed to go back and work in Saudi Arabia. I had some issues trying to get the residency visa going, and in the middle of that process, my father died. And so once that happened, I decided to stay in the States, and that's when I started to look for work in the States. And after that, one of the things that I was mainly qualified for, besides possibly going to Iraq and translating, was to be a school teacher. So in the process of 2 or 3 months, or in a course of 2 or 3 months rather, I put in some resumes, made some phone calls, and I had a friend in Texas at the school, in Dallas, Texas, that was a principal, and he said, you know, we may be able to help you out. I have an opening currently, and so come down for a couple of days and substitute teach for us. And if you like it, we'll keep you on, and you know we will like each other and everything. We'll keep you on. And so in January 2008, that's where I started working in a school called IQA, or Islamic Association of North Texas Quranic Academy, and I've been here ever since. That's as far as my work experience is pretty much concerned. Yeah. Now, in the process, or in additionally of working for IQA, I currently, at the request of our Imam, Dr. Yusuf Kowalski, am the manager for Sufa Islamic Seminary, where I try to manage some things. It's kind of like a startup company, I guess you could say. Try to put some things down because of my background in Islamic studies, and additionally my background of the system here in America and education just a little bit. And so that's what I do. So I currently have 2 jobs. I hold 2 positions, being an Islamic studies and Arabic teacher with IQA, and additionally to being the manager for Sofa Islamic Seminary.